Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a holiday makeup look. You can also do it for other special occasions as well, but being that it's the holidays, I thought it would be great to show you guys this look. So this is actually the look that I'm going to be showing you that I have on right now. It's a little bit more makeup than you would wear during the day and stuff like that, so it would be great for special occasions and holidays. So if you're ready to get started, let's go! Okay guys, let's take that frown and turn it upside down by making ourselves look gorgeous. First, I just wanted to let you guys know I already applied my eye cream, which is this Marcelle Essentials, and my daily moisturizer, which is this light cream. I really like this, and as I said, I wear this every day. I also have already applied just a very light coverage base, and I use this L'Oreal Beauty Balm. I love this beauty balm compared to any other beauty balm. It has little beads in it, and it does have a slightly light reflecting quality to it, which is great because it just blurs any blemishes or anything you might have, and just kind of makes your skin tone look a little bit more even without being heavy, so I really like that. So now what I'm going to do, since I've already applied those things, I'm going to start with some concealer. I'm using the CoverGirl Olay Concealer Balm. This is a little bit more moisturizing than a lot of other concealer sticks, so I really like that. And especially during winter time where our skin is pretty dry as it is, we can use all the moisture we can get. So I'm just going to start by applying this to any blemishes or old scars or anything that I might want to cover up, and then I'm going to add it to a few more places after that, but let's just get everything smooth and evened out. So I'm just smoothing this out using my finger in a very light patting motion, and that just helps it to blend softly without rubbing too much of it away. Okay, so now I've got most of any blemishes covered pretty good, and as I said, we're going to add this to a few more places. So we're going to go under our eyes and in the corner where things can get a little dark, and then for women around our noses and our chin can get a little red and discolored just because of, the hormones and stuff we have in our bodies. So that's a typical problem area for us girls. So once I've got it applied to all of those places, again, I'm just going to use my finger and just gently tap it until it starts to blend. So I have one other spot that I'm going to put a little extra coverage on. I've got kind of a brown spot that has developed over the past few years from the sun, and that needs a little bit of extra coverage. So that's what I'm doing here. So as you can see, things are starting to look much better already. Okay, now next I'm adding another it's a sort of a concealer, but it's more of a brightening concealer, so it's a pink tone, you'll notice, and I'm just going to be applying it under my eyes, down the center of my nose, on my chin, and underneath my eyebrows. So here I'm just applying it to the triangular section under my eyes, and then it's just going to add a lot more brightness and make us look nice and wide awake. much of a difference that made in brightening up our eyes. Now I'm going to apply it just down the center of the nose. Just a touch on the chin. Okay, now I'm going to be applying this Revlon PhotoReady finishing powder just to my forehead, my nose, cheeks, and chin. So just the places where my skin tends to get a little oily, and this is just going to set things a little bit better. And I'm also going to apply it to my eyes, under my eyes and my eyelids, just to set my concealer and to brighten things up just a little bit more. Then I'm going to take my regular pressed powder. This is the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder, and I really like this pressed powder. It's got a little bit of a light reflecting properties to it when you apply it to your face. So it just helps to create that more flawless finish and helps the light bounce off, which creates a more smooth and even skin tone. So I'm just applying it to the outer perimeter of the face mostly. And that's just going to set the rest of our makeup. And even if you don't really need that much coverage or any coverage on your neck, you still want to blend your makeup down so that you don't get any definite lines showing where you've applied your makeup. You want it to blend with your natural skin. So here I'm just applying a little extra concealer to one of my spots that needs it. So I'm just going to apply that, and I'm going to blend it in, and then I'm going to apply some more pressed powder just to cover that up and set it. And at this point, if you have any spots that need some extra coverage as well, this is a good time to do it. When you're adding wet on dry and then wet on dry, it really helps to set things in place. And now we're going to do a little bit of light contouring with some bronzer. So this is the physician's formula, how to bronze. So it's supposed to make it more simple and easy, and it has a much more natural tone to it, so that when you apply it to your face, it doesn't look extremely orange, which some bronzers can do. So we're just going to apply it to that hollow in our cheekbones and then up into our temples. This will just make your cheekbones stand out a little bit more, and it creates a nice soft glow to your skin tone as well. And here I'm just applying some bronzer to down the sides of my nose, and just to the, not the tip, but to the, I don't know what you call that, to your nostril area, and it just sort of slenderizes your nose. So now I'm going to apply my blush, and this is my favorite blush. This is the blush I use every day. It's by Annabelle, and I forget what it's called, but I will be leaving a list of all the products I've used in the description of this video below. So as you can see, you want to make a nice big smile so you can easily find where the apples of your cheeks are, and then you just start applying to the apples of your cheeks, concentrate the color there, and then just sort of swirl it up towards your temple along your cheekbones. And that just gives you a healthy, pretty, feminine glow. Now, to add a little bit more of a dewy effect, I didn't need that anyway. To add a little bit more of a dewy effect, I'm going to be applying some of this highlighting powder. I'm going to be applying it just to the very tops of my cheekbones, up towards your temples, under the eyebrows, and down the center of the nose. And just apply this very lightly. So then to apply it to under my brow and down the center of my nose, I'm just going to apply it to my finger and then to my face. And then just lightly blend it. So now we've got our base finished. And we're going to move on to our eyebrows. Now this is an eyebrow pencil I got from Sally Beauty, and I haven't used it before. This is new. I ran out of my usual pencils, so I'm just going to try this one and hopefully it matches quite well. So what I'm doing is I'm just brushing my eyebrows in an upward direction, and then I'm going to use the pencil just to fill in any spots where I have any gaps in my eyebrows and just make the shape of my eyebrows much more defined and much neater. We're not changing the shape of our eyebrows here, we're just trying to make them look much more neat and, like I said, defined. Once you've got your pencil on there, you can brush it upwards once again just to make the pencil blend in with your natural hair. And you want to make sure to brush the inner parts of your eyebrows a little bit more, just to blur it a little bit, because that looks much more natural, and then the rest of your eyebrow can be a little bit more defined. So there, I've got my eyebrows done. They don't need to be exactly the same as one another, they should be quite close, but naturally eyebrows aren't perfectly symmetrical, so if they're a little different, then don't worry about that. You've got the right idea. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start on the eyes. I'm using some gray and purple tones, and they'll kind of blend together nicely because the purple I'm using is more of a mauve. So I'm starting with this gray palette, and I'm going to use the very lightest gray in this palette to start. I'm just going to apply it using the applicator that came with it, and I'm going to apply it all over my eyelids and just almost up to my eyebrow, but not quite. Make sure to blend it out nice and softly. And now from there, I am also going to line my bottom lash line from the outer corner right to the inner corner. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more concentrated to the very inner corners of my eye. Now I'm going to take this CoverGirl eyeshadow duo. One side's gray and one side is a sort of mauve color. I'm going to start with the gray side. And I'm just going to apply this, concentrating it on the very outer corners of my eye, maybe I would say 1/3 of the way in. And then I'm also going to apply that into the crease. Once I've got that applied, I'm going to use my finger like this just to blend and soften the colors into each other. just extended the dark gray color just a little above the crease and blended it out. I'm going to go back to my gray palette, and I'm going to go in with a makeup brush, and I'm going to use this darker gray here. And because I've already used a cream eyeshadow, putting the powder shadow on top of that is going to help set our eyeshadow. So I'm just going to go over and apply this to the same areas where I applied the darker gray cream shadow in the previous step. And I'll also use my finger here just to blend the dark gray out and blur the edges and just make sure everything's blended nicely. Okay, so once again we're going to take our eyeshadow stick, but we're going to use the purple side this time. And we're just going to line our upper lash line as close to the lash line as we can with this purple color. So I'm going to go from the inner corner all the way out, and I'm going to extend it just past the outer corner of my eye and create sort of a wing. So then I'm going to take this awesome pencil that I have. On one side it's got a smudger, and in the cap it's actually loaded with the color, the amethyst color, and then on the other end it's actually an eyeliner. I bought this at Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada. Shoppers Drug Mart is similar to a CVS or a Walgreens, but I think this is a Shoppers Drug Mart brand product, so you may not be able to find it, but of course you can use anything of a similar color, any eyeliner of a similar color that you can find wherever you live. So what I'm doing is I'm just applying this eyeliner to the base of my upper eyelashes again, in the same area where we applied the purple shadow. But we're just trying to keep it a little bit closer to the lash line. And then again extending it out slightly past the outer corner to create that winged out look. I'm just going to lightly go over it with my finger in the inner corners just to lighten it up a little bit there, because we want to keep the inner corners of our eyes as light as possible. Once again, I'm going to take my eyeshadow stick, and this time I'm going to apply it to the outer corners of my eye so that I can get that purple color blending in with the grays I've already applied. And then just blend it with your finger again. And from there, I'm also going to apply just a little bit to the bottom lash line, from the outer corner to about the center, and keeping it lighter as you get more towards the center. So things are starting to look pretty good here. So the next step, I'm going to go back to that gray eyeshadow palette that we've been using, and I'm going to go back to the very light color, and I'm going to use the small side of the applicator. I'm going to load it up with the light color, and I'm going to apply it to the inner corners of my upper eyelid again, just to brighten things back up there, because we want to keep the inner corners of the eyes as light as possible, and the outer corners is what will be darker, and that creates the drama that we're looking for in this look. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of the highlighting powder we used earlier on my finger and apply it to the very inner corners of the eye. And that just helps your eyes pop a little bit more and sparkle a little bit more. Now from here I'm going to take my CoverGirl brown eyeliner and I'm going to inline the base of my upper eyelashes as close to the eyelashes as I possibly can get. I don't want to cover up all that purple that we've already done. And then I'm going to also extend this just past the outer corner of the eye, creating that winged out look and adding more drama. The brown eyeliner is going to also help to add the look of volume to your lashes. So now I'm going to take my brown eyeliner again, and I'm just going to very, very lightly line my bottom lashes with this. And again, you want the brown to be lighter as you come in towards the center, so concentrate most of the color toward the outer corners of your eyes. And then just lightly run your fingers over it to smooth that out. So now what I'm going to do is take that finishing powder we used way earlier on, and I'm just going to load my brush with it and then brush it under my eyes just to try to brush away any fallout that might have occurred when we were applying our gray eyeshadows. So we want to keep our eyes looking as bright as possible, and sometimes when the eyeshadow falls under your eyes it can darken things up and you don't want that. And then I'm just going to reapply a bit more highlighting powder just in case I removed some of it whenever I brushed away that fallout. Okay, so at this point, if you guys choose, you can apply some artificial eyelashes. I couldn't find the ones I wanted to use for this look at the store, so I'm just going to skip the artificial eyelashes, and I'm just going to use mascara. Oh, that's okay. I didn't want to use those anyway. And I love this mascara. This is my favorite mascara. It's the CoverGirl Lash Blast Fusion, and it adds great volume and length. So I'm just going to start by applying it to my upper lashes. And what you want to do is you want to start at the base of your lashes and just wiggle your brush back and forth and then pull up. And this is going to allow for you to get right into the base of your lashes with your mascara, and it helps create that really great volume. So just wiggle, wiggle, and then pull up. So wiggle, wiggle, and pull up to extend your lashes. So I'm going to apply one coat of this to both of my upper eyelashes. So now I've got one coat applied to my upper eyelashes, and then I'm going to do one very light coat to my bottom eyelashes. And this is just to define the eyelashes below a little bit better. My eyelashes are very light. They are there, but they're very light, so I just like to apply a little light coat of mascara to the bottom just so that you can actually see those lashes. Okay, so that's it for that bottom lashes. Now I'm going to apply a second coat to my upper lashes. Okay, so that's 2 coats. Now we are going to apply a third coat. Yes, we're going to apply a third coat of mascara. But this one is just going to be concentrated on the tips of our lashes, and also we're going to try to look up towards the ceiling a little bit more so that we can apply the mascara and push the eyelashes back at the same time to help them curl just a little bit better. So things are looking pretty good now. We only have one more step to do. Oh, look how cute. Like I said, we only have just one last step to do, and that is going to be our lips. And for lips, what we're going to do is we're going to keep our lips on the subtle side, but first we're going to apply some moisturizing lip balm, and I really like this lip balm. It's Soft Lips, and I think it has SPF 20 in it, and it's really moisturizing and it makes your lips super soft. So we're just going to apply this so that we have a nice smooth base to apply our lip color on. You don't want to have too much lip balm on, so I'm just wiping a little bit off with my fingers. And then from there, I'm going to apply this lip color here, which is just a sort of pinkish nude color. And like I said, we're going to keep it nice and light here on the lips because we've gone quite heavy on the makeup on our eyes, and we want that to be the part that stands out. So we're going to keep things nice and light on the lips. And clean everything up, and then there we go. That's my holiday makeup look for you guys. Alright guys, that's it. My holiday makeup look. I hope you guys really liked it, and I hope that it's something you guys will want to try yourselves. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did like this video. I'm not sure if I mentioned it yet or not, but if I didn't, I will be leaving a list of all the products I used in the description of this video, so if you're not quite sure of something or you just don't want to go back to the video over and over, I will have a list below, so it'll make it easier for you guys. Besides that, make sure you guys head over to my blog to check things out there. I've got a lot of posts showing my artwork and things like that I'm really excited about, so go check that out. You guys can also find me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter, and I'm going to leave the links and all the information for all the places you can find me all over the internet in the description of this video as well. So I guess that's it for today, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, I didn't need that anyway. And I'm just going to use mascara. Oh, that's okay. I didn't want to use those anyway.